also have a new group of emerging leaders, though, that are hungry and they want it. And so I feel like we're in this weird place where there are some people that are like digging in their heels, like, no, like, hell not. I'm not. Like, this is just messed up. And then you have another group of like emerging talent that are like, whatever it takes. Like, I've been under the thumb of these motherfuckers for all this time. Like, it's my time. So, okay, I'm a macroeconomic expert. Oh, like AI? Like, I got this. And so it's this weird time. And I feel like none of us, it's not panning out for any of us. It's like we're all kind of hurting from it.
I really feel like HR is having like an identity crisis right now too, because there's like a bunch of weird, I don't want to call it infighting, but there are like things that people are saying, like that some of us are like, you can't be saying that anymore. Or like the working with the CEOs that are demanding everyone go back to the office. And then there's like the other side of HR leaders that are like, hey, the office actually like isn't that inclusive. You need to promote flexibility so that you can keep caregivers in the workplace, and working mothers have not returned yet to the workplace from like pre-COVID era times. Like we have yet to return to maternal working rates in 2024. And so it's like we've seen so much. It's just interesting. Like there's a lot of interesting like infighting happening in HR right now too.
Why do you think that's the case, Hebba? Like we don't get it. We see the exact same thing. And I will use the most recent story I tell is a story of a topic that Daniel and I were really, really passionate about. And we like one post, there were probably dozens of posts, but there was one post where we got a response and we were like, ooh, we did like the backwards, like JK, like this isn't going to be a one of our content pillars. And that is the spicy topic that HR leaders need to have stronger business acumen. And we got this intel from other people leaders. Like Daniel and I didn't make this up. It's not like one day Daniel and I were like, you know what? HR people need to be better business people. And so we're going to post on our LinkedIn about this all the time. Like it didn't pan out. That's not how it happened. What happened was we started doing these problem interviews, and that was the number one problem that other HR leaders were telling us. And so we're like, like how interesting. So then we put it out there, and it was like, well, then we had a whole reaction to that from, another group of HR practitioners and leaders. And so that's when we were like, like
we're in the drama.
We're in one of those situations where it's like,
I don't think it's that bad. People were really mad about this.
There were strong opinions.
But like, I mean, okay. So I took my current gig, and one of the questions I asked my CEO, I asked him a lot of really personal things, to be honest. But one of them I asked was like, are you interested in teaching me how our business runs? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. You have to know how the business runs to do your job well. And I said, I've worked with CEOs that don't see HR in that capacity, that don't think that HR needs to know the business and where it stands in the competitive market space, and what does that mean for retaining talent, and how does that inform your strategy internally on retaining people or going to get new talent. And so I made it a core mission of mine to find a CEO who wanted me to understand their business so that I could better help him. But I do feel like HR does need to have that business acumen because it informs so much of our strategy. And a lot of HR people are in like reactive roles, not proactive roles. So I'm assuming the people that were mad about you saying that are probably in like highly reactive environments where all they do all day long is react to the things that their executives are doing rather than think preemptively on how to be proactive.
It's for me, it's like getting that piece of feedback that you get every year that is true, but you hate that it's true. And it's like, but you hear it over and over and over. And the point isn't that like one day miraculously, like that's the feedback, newsflash, I'm going to hear that for the rest of my life in some way, shape or form. The point is like, it's still something I can strive to be better at, like that
for sure.
And I think that's what's being missed by those that are like, oh, well, that's bullshit. I've been hearing that I need to take a finance class for all this time, and I've taken that finance class. I understand finance. And it's like, but that's not the full point here. The full point is we can all strive to learn more, to get a deeper understanding. And just as business evolves, our understanding has to evolve. At least that's how I kind of look at it.
No, I think the number one compliment, I've actually shared this multiple times on the podcast. The number one compliment I've ever gotten was from a head of engineering. I will never forget him. Love the man. He's great. He told me that I was one of the first HR people that he has ever met that found a way to delicately balance what the business needed with what the people needed. And I could only do that because I understood the business strategy. And so I think like, if you are like, I'm an HR leader, what's in my toolkit? Number one is you better understand your business in and out. Like, you have to. I don't think there's any way around it. And it's like, I guess it's hard to hear that. Maybe, I don't know. I get I get feedback that I'm stubborn. So like, I'm used to getting hard feedback, right? If you were like, you need to be better about financial modeling, I'd be like, I don't know if I need to be better about that, but like, could I understand our finances a bit more? Sure. But I don't think there's anything wrong with saying people need business acumen. Honestly, I just think a lot of HR is fighting because we're in an identity crisis. We're going from being like paper pushers. I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but like from executing like tasks to being these strategic figureheads in rooms that heads of big companies are looking at and asking really hard questions. How do I retain this top talent?